So the first benchmark question for today asks, which title best completes this list? We have the potential for new markets, an abundance of inexpensive farmland, and the discovery of gold. Okay? Somebody tell me, what did they get on this question? Anyone want to share?
I got
Mine?
A.
I got C.
Okay.
I got W.
The correct answer is C. Okay? And the economic motives for manifest destiny. Okay? Manifest destiny is a word that's pretty important to this class that we're going to talk about. Okay? Manifest destiny is what's written out here to the right. It's the expansion of the United States from coast to coast. Okay? From the Atlantic to the Pacific. Okay? And manifest destiny is this belief that a lot of Americans had during the 1800s that it was God's will for America to go stretch from, east to west coast, all the way across the United States. They believed like God wanted them to have all this land. And so this motive is going to really encourage them to expand. And we see this idea of manifest destiny during the presidency of Andrew Jackson. How did we see this idea that God willed them to have the land? How did we see this as an example in the presidency of Andrew Jackson?
Because there's gold.
Do what?
Because there's gold.
Because there's gold. Okay, we talked a little bit about gold being in California, but that's going to come a little later. What do they see? What happened? We talked about it earlier. Do what? What did we talk about during the presidency of Andrew Jackson? That was one of the major events that occurred. We watched the video.
Trail of Tears.
There you go, the Trail of Tears. Okay, what's significant about the Trail of Tears and this westward expansion, getting more land? Austin.
So there was Indians in a place where gold was found, and they had to leave their home to.
For no reason, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good.
Because they wanted to find gold there.
Very good. So yes, gold was found, just like this is talking about, on Cherokee Indian land, and Andrew Jackson made them do what?
Leave.
Made them leave. Okay, it's because of this belief, manifest destiny, that the Anglos, the white people, they had the right to land across the United States from east to west coast. They were going to push out Indians if necessary and obtain the land because they believed that God wanted them to have it. Okay? Next slide.
No, that means greedy.
Okay? The reform efforts of Dorothea Dix during the mid-19th century led to, and Dorothea Dix, we kind of define her up here. She is significant because she is a social worker for the mentally ill and disabled. Okay, which if you just read that right there, it kind of gave you the answer. What'd you get, Austin?
I put J.
J is correct. Okay, she improved facilities for the mentally ill and disabled. And then it says out to the side, Dorothea Dix. Okay, so we're gonna after the slides are done, we're gonna take a look at a really short, minute and a half clip that discusses Dorothea Dix and the accomplishments of her. Okay, and what we're gonna learn in that video is that the mentally ill are very
They died.
they're taken advantage of, or just kind of left out because they were kind of put in a category with prisoners, and they were seen as if you had a mental disability or you had a mental illness, whether it could be anything, they would just label you as almost as equal to a prisoner, you were just pretty much ignored, but this changes with Dorothea Dix. She tries and gets mentally ill and disabled people better improved facilities. So she's trying to make life better for those people. Okay? All right. This next one says, all you need is an open mind and a readiness to work with others to make decisions. You also need to be impartial. In other words, your decision must not be influenced by personal feelings and biases. Okay? The biggest key word I think in this, someone tell me what they think the biggest key word. There's a couple circled or boxed in. What's the biggest one, Austin?
Open mind.
Okay? Not exactly the one I'm thinking. What's the big, yep, mine.
Maybe biases.
Okay, biases. Okay, which has to do with what?
Like learning biases.
Okay, biases. There's a word that's very similar to biases that's circled.
Impartial.
Impartial. Okay, impartial and bias mean essentially the same thing. If you can't be impartial, that means you can't be biased. They're saying you can't be impartial, it means you can't have a opinion one way or the other beforehand. So like, what would that be important for?
Jury.
Yes, good, Braden. Jury duty. Okay, the correct answer is B, jury
Yeah,
duty,
that's true.
because jurors. What's the role of a juror? Christian. What's the role of a jury? What's the jury do?
They say you're guilty or not.
Good. They determine whether somebody is guilty or innocent, right? So the jury has to be impartial, meaning they can't have an opinion on whether you're guilty or you're innocent before the trial starts, right? Because then that wouldn't be fair, right? If they already had an opinion about you and whether you're guilty or innocent before the trial even starts, would that be fair? No, right? So if JT was accused of stealing a Snickers bar from Best Buy, okay,
I've seen him. He did.
and the jury, someone on the jury doesn't like JT, okay, are they going to be unbiased and impartial?
No, it was JT.
No,
He
right?
said it
I didn't say he did it. I just said he was accused of doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the jury needs to come in and hear both sides of the story. They need to hear JT's side of the story, right? Then they need to hear.
It said free on it. It
Yeah.
said free.
Then they need to hear somebody
Free
else's
of sugar, not
else's side to the story before they can determine their vote. And then the jury would vote. And that goes along with the part of readiness to work with others, because a jury is made up of multiple people, and together they'll vote on the outcome, right? Cool. Braden, would you go ahead and move to the next one? Okay. Irish and Chinese immigrants are best remembered for performing which type of labor during the 19th century? Okay. This one also was, I'm sure it was really difficult for you guys answering. Okay.
I couldn't even comprehend the
I
question.
know.
Okay. So we're talking about Irish and Chinese. Okay. Irish and Chinese immigrants, people from Ireland and from China that are coming to the United States. They're remembered for working which type of labor, Braden?
Huh?
What'd you get?
No, I got G.
You got G?
Okay.
Okay.
I remember
Bryson, what'd you get?
said immigrants come over to build canals.
Did you not see no, California no?
They come to build the railroads and because of
Okay.
I thought he was joking at first.
I thought he was too.
Okay. You're good. The correct answer is H. Okay. Because the railroads are what stretches across the United States. Okay. 19th century would be when? When's the 19th century?
The 1800s.
The 1800s. Okay. So the 1800s, the railroads are booming, right? They're very prominent, meaning they're building all sorts of railroads all across the United States, because that's the newest way to get from place to place, right? Eventually, they're going to build a railroad system called the Transcontinental Railroad, and it's called that because it reaches from coast to coast. It goes all the way across the United States by train.
Yeah, and how
So, who's going to build these railroads? The road itself is these immigrants, okay?
That's not fun.
That's not.
All right, and then this is the last one. Which of the following best completes this illustration? Okay, you guys can narrow this down because we've talked about all these. Okay, So republicanism. What is a republic?
Not that.
What's a republic?
No, what
They
were
want a
You're
national
stupid.
government.
Okay, a republic is any sort of government in which the people do what?
Vote.
Vote. Okay, any government in which the people vote for government. So you know that's what a republic is. So is private property, profit motive, entrepreneurship, consumer choice, competition. Does that sound like a government where people vote?
No.
Okay. Federalism. People want a strong what?
government?
Good. A strong national government. Okay, if we want a strong national government, does that have to do with entrepreneurship,
No.
competition, private property, profit motive, consumer choice?
No.
No, right? Okay. These are all types of government. What are these sounding like? Entrepreneurship. Who knows what entrepreneurship is?
Your own company.
Your own company, right? Your own company. So we're thinking not government, but more what? When you see your own company, what do you think of more?
So, Apple.
Okay. If not government, but More. I'm looking for like word that starts with a B.
Buy it.
Business, right? More business than government. Okay. This is all dealing with economics and making money. Okay. Mercantile system. Okay, we've talked about that. That does have to deal with money, so maybe that could be the answer. But what is a mercantile system? We talked about it. What's mercantilism?
The government makes money or something.
Okay. Talked about it earlier in the year. A mercantile system is a trading system between who?
States. Anyone.
States.
Okay.
now.
This is before we had states. What is the trading system of?
Britain people.
Britain
And the colonies.
and the colonies.
Can only trade with Britain.
Cool.
Good. The colonies can only trade with Britain.
That
Good,
would
Britain.
make sense.
Okay, so they were controlling the colonist trade. Okay? Is this having to deal with controlling the colonist trade?
No.
Okay, no. So the correct answer is F, a free enterprise system. Okay, and that's just talking about like it's a free business type of system, right? Where you can have entrepreneurship, you can own a business, there's competition, right? Just like if you're thinking of companies like car companies, right? Competition, you got Ford, you got GMC and Chevy, okay? You got Toyota, yep, Jeep, Honda, Dodge, right? It's competition, right? They're all making their own vehicles and they're in competition with amongst each other to get the most people to buy their cars, right?
The most money.
Yeah, make the most money. So this is all under a free enterprise system in which they can all have their business.
So, like,
Right. So the correct answer is F.
I got 45 right.